Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Chinatown Detective Agency. And in the last episode, guys, we saw Claudius Dai, the CEO of Wu Wong, commit suicide, and it seemed like he was being influenced by some sort of outside entity, which I think is an AI, but I guess we'll have to see. But we exposed the web of corporate corruption in the government. Kieran was very happy. And the offices here at the detective agency have expanded, both physically and in terms of staff. Letitia has joined Amira as a partner, employee. I don't know if Amira really wants to have that conversation, but should definitely be interesting if nothing else. So, let's go ahead and see where the story goes from here. Hey, great work on the last case. We need the chat. I've got something. Just in time, Justin. I bet to call him back as soon as possible. Yes, but we got to check email first. Because you never know. Dharma Adnan, or Adnan Dharma, made the news. Saw you on the news today. Finally catching up to the old man, eh? Who knows? Maybe you'll end up back at the SPF. Things here are good. I finally started that calligraphy class. Teacher said I showed potential, which is another way to tell me I sucked. House is a bit emptier since you cleared out all of your old stuff. I think you took my CD player too, but I have my phone now, so it's fine. I did stop going to the community center events, so things are pretty quiet here generally. Look, it didn't go perfectly the last time we spoke, but it would be nice to hear from my favorite, only, daughter. But only if you got time, of course. Anyway, talk soon. Dad. Aw. Can we give him a call? I'd call him right now. Jobs at PI Monthly. Wanted, Senior Investigation Officer, Grandis Poynton and Lloyd Associates. Experienced PI wanted for permanent medical investigator role. Experience with malpractice casework obligatory. Salary competitive. Junior Research Assistant, quickfind.sg. Junior position, temporary contract, must have 15 years of relevant experience. No time wasters. I've seen those before. Chief Financial Officer, Tangerine and Kennedy Investigations. Looking for candidates with experience running mid-sized investigation agencies. Sense of humor a must. I bet that's an Easter egg for something I'm not getting. Tangerine and Kennedy. And updates at SNN. Daily Summary. CUU strikes. Coalition of United Nations targets distribution net. Worldwide logistics delay. Jobs report. 0-hour contracts account for 80% of new positions, so those temporary contract that we just saw. Australia elections. Frontrunner Baramba loses to Reinhardt. Ex-Coal CEO sworn in as Prime Minister. Ouch. Local news. Shootout at local manor house. Police refuse to confirm number of deaths. Temple of the Self controversy. Leaders split on future of megachurch. Local politician woos voters. Woo! New arrival bucks trend with anti-corruption charge. I wonder if this is stuff that we would run into had we helped out either Tiger Lily or Rupert. Okay. Friendly face, call Justin. Will do. Gotta check and see if Amira's dad's here in the contact list, though. Nope. Justin it is.
Hey there, stranger.
Sorry, who is this?
Very funny.
I'm just glad you have time to call an old man back.
Come by the office, old man. We'll chat.
Sometime later. Oh, there's the office edition.
I ran out of booze. Came to see if that bottle I gave you is still good.
You're just in time. Reckon it's got a few decades left on it.
Like what you've done with the place. All you need now is the deer stalker and pipe.
Nice Holmes reference. Letitia's not really a Watson kind of character, though.
Was that Letitia I saw on my way in?
Yeah, right past Mrs. Hudson.
Amira.
Probably. My first hire.
Amira.
That was a funny glitch.
I know, Justin. But she's got contacts to kill for. And I need the edge right now.
Amira!
So, going to tell me why you're really here?
Amira!
Remember the Havelock incident?
The research center. Sure. Hard to forget. What were the papers calling it? The Flaming Sword Firebombing?
Ooh, we're getting in on the terrorist attack.
Don't get me started on the papers. The boys in forensics finally found their asses and concluded it was arson.
Wow, a real crack team you've got there. Since you're involved, I'm assuming they found bodies?
Only one, thank God. Place was empty except for our Jindu.
She's unidentified? How is that possible?
You asked why I was here. You want to know more? Meet me at the morgue. I'll be there from 7. Rendezvous with the coroner. I could really use your help on this one, kid.
Pro bono?
In this economy, we'll scrounge up some dough for you. At least, whatever your last client managed.
So about 5K, but we need more cases because our rent has gone up quite a bit.
We?
Okay lah, me lah. I'll scrounge up some dough.
Justin.
Look, you wanted an SPF case. This is an SPF case. Not official, but close as I can get. The morgue, 7 p.m. Bring the wine.
A cloven pine. Alright, so meet Justin in the city morgue in Tanjong Pagar before 7 p.m. Oh, it is like 4 o'clock. Okay, hold on. Before we do anything else, can we talk to Letitia? And she's not in here. And she has a nicer office than I do. At least the wallpaper isn't tearing off the brick. Alright, Tanjong Pagar? Or Pagar? To the morgue! Oh, they got robots.
You know that's not possible. And yet here we are. Sorry, Justin. Facts are facts. Amira.
Can we... Oh, there's a lot of stuff to look at. Okay. These x-rays show a comminuted fracture, but it's not pandy. Just another day at work for the medical examiner. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Medicalese. Plastic and metal limbs freshly harvested. Probably on their way to a clinic in the poorer parts of town. Oh, that's right. They take all the cybernetics from the bodies. I have a feeling the shapeless mound is the reason I'm here. Accurate. Who knows what mangled remnants of humanity lay beyond those doors. The thought of ending up behind one, entombed in my own little capsule, made me twitch. Oh, she's monologuing inside. Just want to see if this something was different. Games have done that before. What we got here. No one complained when the droids took over the morgue. Took a certain kind of temperament to work solely amongst the dead. Okay. A fluid extraction pod. Few things in life creep me out as much as this thing. Medical staff love it though. Keeps the jobs clean, simple, and sterile. What if someone human got thrown into that? And who's this guy? Guess we're about to find out though. Is there anything else here before we continue? Nope. Alright, Justin. Hit me with the facts.
Dr. Lee, Moon Wai. This is the help I was telling you about.
Amira Dama, Chinatown Detective Agency.
Miss Dama, I'm Woon Wai, State Coroner. This here's Dr. Jensen Lee, attending physician. Nasty business, especially for a fine lady like yourself to be worrying about. Oh, God. Very well done with the Wu Wang case. Those were some powerful people you were up against.
Justin told me you had something unusual?
Oh my, straight to it. All business, this one. The Havelock bombing. One victim, currently unidentified.
Good God. How did the fire start?
Drones. 2 to be precise. Smaller one, probably bought commercially, smashed the window. Then a larger one dropped the payload. White phosphorus. Not something you can get just anywhere.
Any leads there?
Last I heard, SPF had a couple of guys on it.
But we're looking at a murder.
Well, you could bust it down to manslaughter with a good enough team. But my opinion, this was death by drone. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
How is it that the body has no name? See, I figure in this world, like, everyone's, like, fingerprints or genetic info is all up in the cloud, so no one would be impossible to identify.
Well, right now, we simply don't know.
We've tried everything. No identifying objects found on her person. Facial recognition is a no-go, as the body, well, you've seen the damage.
A search of the lab records turned up nothing. Apparently no one's worked there in years.
Lastly, this is where it gets downright spooky. No genetics on record. She's not in the state census? No DNA match at all. That is unusual. Miss Dama, everyone in Singapore is on that database. You, me, your district MP, and his mother. But this woman, it's like she never existed.
He told you this was a good one. Everything not burned up by the fire is on the table over there. And of course, we're at your disposal should you have any questions. Wink, wink.
I've had worse starts to a case, but not many.
So you take it?
You knew I'd take it as soon as it crossed my desk.
That I did. Too much of your dad in you. And my work here is done. Gentlemen, Miss Dama, call me when you've cracked it.
Thanks, Justin. Leave us with the sex pest here. Good friend. Alright, what do we gotta do? Question Dr. Lee? Investigate the object from the fire. Oh, we can click on this now. A chunk of ceramic? No. A clay tablet. And what was that writing etched onto its face? All that was left was a few characters, rough lines and triangles scrawled in perfect bunched rows. There was something to it, something I could use. After all, sometimes getting results meant bending the rules. Oh, did we just steal evidence? Great. Okay. Question Dr. Lee and Coroner Wu Wai. Let's talk. You know what? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way.
The delectable Miss Dama. Justin speaks very highly of you, the old dog. How can I help you, my dear?
Just Amira is fine, thank you. You mentioned the building was vacant?
The laboratory in question was on the 4th floor. Rest of the building was empty or shell offices. The entire place was automated, part of the whole smart city thing. No receptionists, no janitors, no staff. Her lab, though, stacked to the ceiling with high-tech stuff. I'm no whiz kid, but I know an industrial-grade server bank when I see one. And yet, according to the records, not a single soul had entered that building since 2028.
Did you see the message left on the billboard?
Not in person. Couldn't help but see it on all the news feeds. The Flaming Sword Firebombing. The sign was hacked from out of country, but that's all I know.
Is that really all that was left from the lab?
Are you suggesting...
No, it's just an unusual item to find in a research laboratory.
You could tell a lot about someone by what they leave behind. I remember a guy, a suicide out in Woodlands, whose entire apartment was filled with cat food. Not that strange, you might say. Guy never owned a cat in his life. Real head-scratcher. Unusual it may be, that tablet is a window into this girl's life. Whoever she was.
Okay. Doctor. Dr. Lee, was it? Yes, ma'am. Sir. Madam. I've never spoken to a private eye before. Sorry. Well, count yourself lucky. And Amira is fine. What was the cause of death? Asphyxiation. She suffocated. Smoke inhalation. The most common way to go in these cases. You said the body was badly burned? Yes, it took the fire department several hours to get the fire under control. Her body is... I'll be honest, it's a mess. And she definitely died on scene. 100%. The burns are consistent with her surroundings, so were the particulate in her lungs. Our Jane Doe died in that lab. What caused the fire? A white phosphorus payload, that's as much as I know. And anonymity. How many Jane Does have come across your slab recently? None. Ever. Miss Dharma, Amira, I can't stress how unusual it is for a body to go unidentified these days. After the deregulation, the gene market took off. There's barely a base sequence in the human body that isn't copyrighted by some conglomerate. Everyone in Singapore gets gene tagged. You enter the city, you're on the record. But this woman? Not only is she not, we haven't found a single trackable marker. Her eyes were gone, so we couldn't take an iris imprint. The fire was pretty intense. Her mouth basically fell in on itself, so no dental records will be unreliable. The rest of her physical markers were burned away in the fire. But Miss Dharma, there should have been something. The woman on that slab doesn't exist, and I actually agree with him. I think that this is essentially a replicant. I think this may have been maybe an AI, the AI that was affecting Claudius Dye's attempt to maybe put an artificial intelligence inside a synthetic android with no eyes, and the mouth, maybe like teeth hadn't been put in, eyes hadn't been put in yet, and it would explain why she'd have no genetic markers, because she's factory fresh, let's say. That's all for now, Dr. Lee. Have you ever seen anything like this? No, I haven't. Thank you for your time. I've gotten all I needed from the doctor. Okay, now we just need to discover the victim's identity. Is there anything else that we need to look at here? I don't think so. Can't go to the map. Can we just back out? Thank you both. You've been very helpful.
Keep in touch, Miss Dharma.
I'm sure she'll do that. A message writ large with neon indiscretion, proudly staking its claim. A woman, unknown to the world in life, now in death. Who were you? Why did someone want you not just dead, but erased? What did you do to deserve this damnatio memori?
I'm sorry if I completely butchered that, or memore.
I needed to focus. I needed to unload on someone, preferably someone I could trust.
Giggity. Return to the office to plan your next move. Discover the victim's identity. Okay. Maybe Letitia will have some insight for us. I still love the few credits that are taken every single time we take the transit. It's such a nice little touch.
1 hour later. And just after we arrived, the message appeared. The hand that wields the flaming sword is burned by a fire that knows no master. Oh, spooky. So now we have an SPF case. An SPF case with no leads and no clues. Except one. My. Amira, this is exquisite. Wherever did you get it? The morgue. It was just lying around. Oh my, have I become a bad influence? How exciting. I need to identify the language. It's the only start we have. Well, let's just say I know some people who are experts in the field of manufacturing fake artifacts for sale on the black market. If anyone can translate this, maybe they can. Get me the language and I'll call my people.
Okay.
A single clue. One chance. Time to get linguistic and hope Letitia can get us rolling.
Okay. Call Letitia once you've identified the language on the tablet. Do we have the tablet? Oh. A stone tablet covered in an unknown language. Is that Sanskrit? Wait, hold on. Let's go to the Google machine here. Consult the oracle. Sanskrit language. Images. Oh no, that is not Sanskrit. Alright. That's definitely not Egyptian. Could that be cuneiform? Possibly. Cuneiform. I want cuneiform language. Let's go cuneiform tablets. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cuneiform. Stone tablet. Okay, cool. Yay for being a history major for a little bit. Letitia is not here. So, what? Oh, call Letitia once you identify the language. Right? I guess she's out talking to her people.
Letitia Marlowe's assistant, how may I direct your call? I know that's you, Letitia. I think I have what you need.
Alright, how do we spell that? Cuneiform.
You're barking up the wrong tree, apparently.
Oh, what?
That wasn't the right language.
Okay. Wait, cuneiform. That is definitely cuneiform, though. Wait, let me look at that again. Cuneiform. Oh, okay.
Cuneiform is like the type of tablet and writing. The language is Sumerian. Gotcha. Okay, let's call Letitia again. Letitia Marlowe's assistant, how... Oh, Amira. Sumerian? 1 hour later. Was that a good call? Sumerian. Well done. Anyway, my man's on it. Shouldn't be a jiffy. He does go on, though. I'll probably need a drink afterwards. Hint, hint. The white mare? Yes, I haven't slummed it for a while. Very well. The white mare in, say, 3 hours? Ta-ta. Alrighty. So, where's the white mare? In... And I guess we'll just wait 2 hours. Have we been here before? Oh, yes we have. This is where I have to turn the volume down because the piano playing so loud. Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and go into audio. And this is the... It's not the music, though. Why not? We'll just do this. Amira, I didn't expect you this early. Oh look, you scared her off. More's the pity. I ordered a bottle for us. Not cheap, but can you really put a price on quality? I know you know I don't drink. Must have slipped my mind. What have you got for me? Looks like our little tablet was a forgery. Still. Letitia, this is amazing. I'll tell you what's amazing. Listening to a man talk about recreating Victorian pigments for 3/4 of an hour. Now, if you're not going to drink, I'd kindly ask that you tootle off. There's nothing worse than drinking alone, except perhaps drinking alone in the company of others. Ooh, okay. We'll leave you two alone, then. Inspect the tablet translation. Wait, good. Let's go ahead and leave those two alone so we can read this. There's more here than I expected, given the size of the tablet. Whoever had etched Sumerian across the thing had packed in a lot of meaning for so small a space. It concerns something known as P. Fear pours off the pages. Whoever our victim was, she knew something was about to go down. But then, could it be? An address in Kalang, and an access code? Did she leave this on purpose? Only one way to find out. Guess I'm headed to Kalang. Yes, indeed, guys. We are going to go ahead and head to Kalang, but we are going to do it in the next episode. So, hope you guys have enjoyed it. We're starting to get into like the meat of the story here, and hopefully Letitia does well with her date. But if you guys like the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.